From the gold mines of Pikes Peak to the heads of presidents, one hat has seen it all: Stetson. But how did this simple hat, created in the wilderness, become the multi-million-dollar legend it is today? This is the story of John B. Stetson, a man who took an idea and transformed it into a multi-million-dollar global empire. Make sure to click the link below for more on this, and check out bitsandspurs.org for country western news, keeping pace with today's rodeo. The story begins in East Orange, New Jersey, 1830. Born into a family of hat makers, John Batterson Stetson was learning the trade from his father, who ran the successful no-name hat company. Then life threw young Stetson a curveball: terminal tuberculosis. Deciding to live out the rest of his days on the American frontier looking for gold, Stetson set out on what would become a journey that changed the world. Stetson arrived in Pikes Peak, Colorado during the gold rush, and after dealing with rain and wind, he had the idea to use a primitive felting technique to make a water-repellent hat from animal fur. He was laughed at first, but soon everyone saw the utility of it. You could keep rain and sun off your face and even water your horse. He called it the Boss of the Plains, and sold it for a $5 gold piece. With his health improved, Stetson headed to Philadelphia in 1865 with a mere $60 loan in his pocket. He rented a small room and hired 2 employees. The first Boss of the Plains hat was made from high-quality 6X fur felt, which is a durable and naturally waterproof material. It was crafted using an old-fashioned process, where it was dyed, shaped, and distressed entirely by hand, resulting in a unique hat with its own shape and level of distressing. It featured a signature leather hatband, interior leather sweatband, and satin lining, making it durable and comfortable for all weather wear. He spread the word by sending his Boss of the Plains hat to southwestern dealers. Soon, around 2,800 retailers across America were selling the many varieties of Stetson hats. They were worn by renowned figures like Buffalo Bill and Calamity Jane, adding a layer of prestige to the Stetson name. And by the early 20th century, Stetson owned the world's largest hat factory and gained international recognition. Even Stetson's death in 1906 didn't halt the company's momentum. Stetson hats were sold by the millions in many varieties, worn by ladies and gentlemen of the time, even making personalized hats for senators and presidents, a tradition that still continues to this day. The cowboy hats were worn by Tom Mix, Hollywood's first cowboy superstar, who became an unofficial brand ambassador. Hollywood was no exception. Clint Eastwood, Gene Autry, James Dean, John Wayne, Roy Rogers, and Dale Evans wore Stetson hats. And then, things in the hat industry changed. Just after the newly elected President John F. Kennedy spoke to the nation hatlessly in 1960, public opinion shifted. Hat wearing went from a must to an optional accessory. With hat makers going bankrupt all around them, Stetson survived, shifting all their focus back to where it began: the cowboy hat. Later they transitioned from manufacturing to licensing, and closed the factory, marking a new chapter for Stetson. And consumer demand for Western styles skyrocketed, fueled by iconic movies like Indiana Jones and Urban Cowboy. Today, Stetson continues to innovate, partnering in sports and music, and remaining a symbol of quality and American spirit. From its humble beginnings to its global presence, we tip our hats to you, John B. Stetson, for your hard work and the legacy you've created. Make sure to click the link below for more on this, and check out bitsandspurs.org for country western news, keeping pace with today's rodeo.